Within the depths of this Brisbane hospital, quarantined in the infectious diseases ward, Bridget Wilkins is taking it day by day.
Morning guys, welcome to day 3. You can probably tell by the state of my hair.
The 29-year-old tested positive to coronavirus after returning to Australia on a Qantas flight from London via Singapore in early March. She was one of the first confirmed cases in the country.
It was quite scary when I got that phone call. I'll be honest, the first question I asked the doctor on the phone was, am I going to die? Which sounds a bit dramatic, but at that point 2 weeks ago, I didn't really know what coronavirus was.
Bridget's mum, family and many of her friends who she'd been in contact with were told to self-isolate at home. And even though Bridget didn't feel that sick, she was taken to hospital to help contain the virus.
It felt like a bit of a con, to be honest, to go and to be able to walk into hospital feeling fairly healthy. Yet everyone's in hazmat suits. It could be a long night.
From day one, Bridget started making video diaries on social media to help keep her spirits up and her family and friends updated.
It's #swab day. Greetings from day 6. We're hoping the prison door is unlocked come mid next week, but only time and blood results will tell.
And while she felt okay to begin with, that gradually changed as the days went on.
The first 4 to 6 days was quite mild in terms of symptoms. I had things that you'd have normally when you have a flu or a cold, sore throat, headache, a bit of a chesty cough, but nothing too serious. Then as the days wore on, I did feel my condition deteriorate.
I think it's important to have a laugh and also have a cry on Instagram because we're going to share our emotions. So waiting for the doctor to arrive, and let's just go fingers crossed it's a positive negative because I'm pretty keen to get out of here. Day 10.
Bridget says day 8 to 10 of the virus hit her the hardest.
Had a second round fight with the big C, but I think I'm coming out on top now, which is good.
To be honest, I felt like I was 80 years old. So I definitely thought of my grandma at that moment because I recognised how hard it may be for her generally, but also if she was to have a condition like coronavirus.
Every case of coronavirus we see helps us understand the epidemiology, the clinical features of this infection.
Infectious diseases specialist Sanjay Anika says it's hard to predict, but modelling indicates between 20 to 60% of Australians could get coronavirus.
So in the last few days in Australia, we've seen the number of cases rise, so the epidemic curve is doing this. In some parts of Australia, there's quite a bit of local transmission, but given that the curve is going up, it is really important that the social distancing measures that have been talked about nationally at a federal and state and territory level are enforced to try and flatten that curve and get control of the outbreak.
Queenslander Diane Houston is one of many anxious Australians currently waiting to find out her test results.
Okay, so we're on our way down to Harvey Bay Hospital from Maryborough because they're saying I should get tested.
But you can see everything.
Diane is particularly concerned because she recently returned from Bali, where a British woman died from the disease.
I started to feel a bit anxious about it because I've got a few symptoms and obviously I've got lung issues.
Clayton here on self-isolation up until I get the results back from my COVID-19 test.
TV presenter Clayton got tested on Tuesday after emceeing a wedding at the weekend where 6 people became sick with coronavirus.
The test itself is unpleasant but not painful. The swab is placed up your nostril and to the back of your nasal cavity and twirled around until they get an appropriate sample. And now I just have to wait 72 hours for the result.
Hi world, I have some very exciting news, something I've waited 12 days to say.
Bridget Wilkins was finally released from hospital on Tuesday.
And I have a negative swab.
G'day world from day 13, lucky day 13, luck of the Irish as they say. It paid off because that, my friends, is an open door and I just walked through it and it felt pretty bloody good after all this time.
So now I have no coronavirus in my system. I'm not infectious and I'm not contagious according to medical advice, which is nice. I asked, am I free to go back out in the world? And they said yes.
Bridget is now home with her mum Rose, who came out of self-isolation last night.
Oh, God. My baby. I want the public to know that it's going to be okay if we all stick in this together. If we fight about toilet paper, it's probably not going to be as okay. You know, this is going to take time and people are still going to get coronavirus in 3 months, in 6 months, probably a lot longer than that. And we can't forget about those people just because they weren't the first 20 patients in the news.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.